What is up, guys? Ivan here with getivan.com, and in this video we're going to be looking at a Quora question for what is the best SEO marketplace. So this is a good question. Let's take a look at some of the answers provided here. So this guy says Fiverr and SEO clerks. Let's see here. See if he says anything else. No, pretty much it. Fiverr and SEO clerks. This guy says it depends. The all-encompassing answer of SEOs everywhere. Let's see here. All-in-one creators marketing platform. Not familiar with that. Oh, that must be some service. Accessibly. Yeah, I am not a fan of like the reseller platforms. Like a lot of them are just scams, super overpriced assets. Pardon me. There are some link databases out there that are more legitimate, and so there's something to some of them, but I would just be cautious of anything that's a reseller or a white label platform. Anytime if you're buying from somebody who has a private network, that's more proprietary. But even there, you're looking at prices between $5 to $20 per link. I think the average solid price for a PBN link is about $10. You should never pay more than $20 for a link for PBN link. Guest posts range widely, and you get those from editorial teams or from people who have access to editorial teams. Um, Pardon me. So that's more peer to peer. Let's see what other things that these folks are saying. SEO marketplace. Never heard of that one. Brand logos. Let's see. These are his marketplaces. Don't really seem like legit sites. Might be just trying to sell domain names. Let's see here. That's a bunch of promo, gig clerk. I've never tried gig clerk. I think I've seen them. Pardon me. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I'm surprised there aren't better answers to this question, but the three big microservice sites are Fiverr, Conquer, and Legit. Fiverr has the most traffic, but pardon me, the you have to really be careful. Like I've seen people really knock Fiverr as though everything's trash there, and there's a guy who did a video where he spent thousands of dollars just like, here, let's have fun, let's just randomly order these gigs and see what we get. Really not wise to do that. Like you should always ask for samples. Always, always, always. It's kind of commonplace in the link world. About somewhere between 30%, half, like a significant percentage of like PBN people still, and sometimes niche edits, but mainly PBN people. They don't want to give their links. They think they're protecting their network. You never use those people. Just never use them. Like doesn't matter who they are. There's even like a really famous SEO who recommended on Facebook his PBN network, and I spent like $1,500 on it or something. Like, and I actually ordered from it a couple times, and he was concealing even the reports. He wouldn't give the. Don't buy from people who won't give you samples. Don't buy from people who won't give you um, at least some kind of report to give you an example. Like they don't necessarily have to send everything, but like just so that you can see generally what the sites look like. You know, but so this network was giving no results like at all, and so after I built to a variety of places, and I was able to look and see what the assets really were, and some of the blurred they were one of those services that does like blurred screenshots, and some of those I was able to like guess the title and find the post, and I found that the assets were not nearly as nice as he led people to believe they were. So don't the blockchain culture and crypto culture, they have a great saying, which is never trust, verify. And I highly recommend you do that with all of your SEO services. Don't trust. You have to have a way to prove that you're getting the results, right? And so it's the same thing with the marketplaces. Don't just go blindly into the night. Get your samples and make sure that there's reporting, right? And at least skim through to kind of see what's going on. Pardon me. And so with that in mind, you can get quality products from any of those marketplaces. I've had quality results from Fiverr vendors, although you can go through a ton of noise, right? A lot of the Pakistani vendors are just spammers and scammers. So you have to be very cautious of that kind of thing. Um, there's legitimate people over on Conquer, certainly on Legit. And, there are other places like Warrior Forums and Black Hat World and Facebook groups. I mean, there are also independent websites where you can get links from people. Like, just go do a search, buy backlinks, for example, or buy content, $1 content, or whatever. There's like a ton of different independent service providers out there, but you have to always make sure that you get samples and you get reports. And if you have to email them and ask them, can I have samples? Can I have reports? What's the the turnaround time, stuff like that. You got to learn those questions. Once you become familiar with that process, you can get quality products from anywhere. I'd say that there's not really one place that stands out, like, because you can meet different people from all kinds of different marketplaces. But one thing I like to do sometimes, like if I'm getting guest posts or niche edits, for example, it's a good idea to come over to Fiverr and to go into your little account here and to go switch to, let me see here. You want to go switch to buying and then go to post a request. Okay, hopefully there's nothing sensitive in here. I have like a ton of requests from the past. But yeah, you want to say, let's see. They changed this interface recently. It doesn't look the same. But you want to say, I'm looking for, and then basically just post the link to the site for the guest post. Like if you get a vendor to tell you, hey, this guest post is $50, then I'm just giving you an example. Come to Fiverr and do a post request and say, looking for the best price for this site. And that's a good way to tell if you're overpaying for a site. Sometimes you can mail the editors. And I know that this is a reason why a lot of vendors don't like giving out their lists and things like that. But it's still a requirement. You know, it's not that I want to go and I need to find those assets. Like I've found way more assets than any vendor has ever sent to me in a list. What I need to do though is I need to make sure that I'm paying a fair price, because some of those vendors, they will charge you double or triple. And so actually Fiverr is a good place to do a price check. And with guest posts, it's a lot more common that you get to pick the posts. If somebody says you don't get to pick the posts, don't do business with them. And you don't have to say anything to them. Just don't do business with them. Because you have to vet the asset, number one, and you have to pick the posts, right? Not necessarily for PBNs. You don't pick the post for PBNs. You don't necessarily have to pick the post for niche edits and things like that. But you have to pick the guest posts for sure. And so just some notes there, like just to give you an example of how you can use Fiverr, pardon me, to do price checks on certain things. And if it's like a general service like content writing or whatever it is you're trying to do, keyword research or on page, or Fiverr is a good place to post a request and see what people say. There's tons of offers that'll be crazy, but some of them will give you an idea about what's fair. And it's also a good place to look at the price lists, to get an idea about what something should cost. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I don't think there's really a best SEO marketplace. Like, I've had good and bad experiences on all of them. It's just about finding the right kinds of people through them all. And it's really like, 10%, 1 out of 10 guys is going to be really great, a much better, more consistent vendor that you can use. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you.